I disagree with the central point, though not most of the details, but the author leaves out a major factor: the fundamental differences in doctrine and scripture between Christianity and Islam. The Christian Reformation had elements of a return to what people imagined the Apostolic Church was like, a return to Christ, Paul and Peter, a removal of later political and military institutions and policies. There was a degree of synergy between the new Enlightenment values and how people then saw the early pre-Constantine church, and both cultural movements were malleable. With Islam, this cannot occur, as it has rigid, explicit, political, legal and military doctrines, as well as the example in Muhammad himself of a very violent person compared to Jesus Christ. It's one thing to superimpose, however anachronistically, 18th to 21st century tastes onto Jesus, but Muhammad makes it very hard to indulge in such reinvention, and his behavior provides a rock-solid refutation of any attempts at a more benevolent reinterpretation of the Quran. Also, the New Testament's generally perceived peaceful tone was often used to negate the Bronze Age tribal violence and draconian laws of the Old Testament. But the Quran works in the other direction. The doctrine of abrogation means the more violent later passages always overshadow the earlier preachings of coexistence, which now form the early stages of cultural takeover or civilizational jihad, affecting innocence while building up military and political power, following Muhammad's example in Medina and Mecca. Islam is as much a political system as religious. You cannot expect the same order of events as occurred in Europe. It also doesn't help that those calling for reform receive little help and much condemnation from the left in the West, who would rather continue to believe in a PC whitewashed moderate majority, already a reformed equivalent of Christianity. And the show put on by many moderate apologists is breathtaking in its dishonesty. This added to the long tradition of Muslims in Kafir lands pretending to be more moderate than they are. All these problems are still in effect, and will at least delay any post-Reformation enlightenment, if it doesn't make it actually impossible. There is a limit to how much incoherence even religious people can take. The moment any curious, enlightened Muslim reads the accounts of Muhammad raping and pillaging his way across Arabia, either moderation must be rejected or Islam itself. As far as I can see, there is no point pretending Islam can be reformed outside of fringe communities. In the marketplace of ideas, far too much that is indefensible will come to light, and the current phase where moderates and the general public can maintain delusions of a quasi-Christian Islam won't last much longer. Only calling for an end to Islam will have any future. Most are not ready for that step, but all the rest is just delaying the acceptance of reality.